One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Extraordinary People. I am Patricia, and I'm going to introduce to you my guest today. I have been a fan of my extraordinary guest today for over a year now. I wait for her weekly episode on Crisp Network religiously. Her courage, her satire, her wit all transmit through her words. Add to that her spunk, her style, her sexiness, and her strength make for a powerful, charismatic combination. She graciously accepted to meet me, and she is fascinating. I learned about the person behind this beautiful face and strong words. I learned that she is inspired by many events in her life, some more difficult than others. I also learned how comfortable she is with being herself culturally and socially. She grabs life by the horns and she does whatever she wants with them. She is a tough and smart cookie. The beautiful part is she does it all with thoughtfulness and kindness towards others, and her struggle is exactly not just for herself but for everybody. I'm so happy to have her here with me today. Let me introduce to you my extraordinary guest. Welcome, Tima Rida.
Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction.
Thank you for coming, Tima. It's a pleasure to have you here. You are you're a woman that I look up to because you're strong and you stand your ground and nothing bothers you. You're just solid in yourself. Do you feel the same as I feel about you?
I do feel that I've learned to be this woman.
Okay.
As you just said in your introduction, with your beautiful words, thank you
It's
for
just the
that.
truth. Okay.
Life molded me to become this. I appreciate what I become. I'm proud of what I become, and I'm so happy and proud to hear from people like you saying that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not just me who tells you this. Excuse me. So there's a certain event. You were born, like you were thrown into these events that made you the person that you are. Is it okay if we start talking about it right from the beginning?
Of course.
So your father was killed in the Lebanese civil war when you were just a few months old.
9 months exactly.
9 months old.
Yeah.
So how did this event, like set your trajectory for life, set your journey? Do you think that, how much did it affect you? Like,
You know, as people, especially that I was newborn, maybe.
yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
I wasn't even 1 year. Maybe you don't know what you missed. Maybe no one will pay attention what you missed.
Right.
Because the family stood by us very, very well.
Yeah.
My father's family.
Okay.
And my mom, of course, she stayed with us all the time. But maybe no one understand what does it mean to not have this person in your life.
You mean the father
The
figure?
father figure, or
his love.
there is something you don't know about it.
Right.
Like I was born, I was raised that saying that my father was killed.
Okay.
And I was raised with my family, and whenever I visit the village, every single one in the village saying that he was a great man.
Okay.
And I always hear things about him. And a lot of people asks me, who are you? Because villages, so they know even the kids.
Yeah.
And whenever they see someone, because we lived all our time in Beirut, but whenever we visited our grandfather, and we did this a lot, like on a weekly basis.
So your father's father.
My father's father.
Right.
So we were very attached to the family, and we still. And whenever I visited the village, they used to ask, who is this girl and who is the boy, my brother.
Right.
And these are Hasib's daughter and son.
Right.
And then I always heard a lot of beautiful stuff about my father.
Okay.
And I don't remember anyone who said that he was anything bad about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started to become older,
Mm-hmm.
I started to think, is it because everyone dies, we say beautiful things about
Right,
him?
as a victim especially.
So
Yeah.
I've decided to start dig a little bit about it.
Oh,
And
what did you find out?
actually, I found out a lot of interesting stuff,
Mm-hmm.
things that till now I wouldn't accept
About your father?
about my father. Like
So you became a little bit disillusioned?
I became a little bit because he was in the war, and he used to be with a certain party,
Mm-hmm.
and was all the time it became to my mind that if he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
a rebel or a muqawame or
Yes.
whatever, he wouldn't have been killed.
Right.
This has became to my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and it haunted me.
Oh,
And this
okay.
is why it became like, okay, I want to know the truth. I want to know my real feelings towards him.
So did you feel like you kind of like had an angel on watching over you, and at the same time you weren't sure what this person
I
really
will
was?
tell you something. It was always, I was born in April.
Mm-hmm.
And in April, if you look up to the sky, there is beautiful clouds all over.
Okay.
And I used, and I still always look to these clouds, and I
Mhm.
imagine my dad is there.
Mm-hmm. Watching over you.
I don't know if he's watching over
Okay.
me, but I wish or I hope that he's proud of what
I was
I'm
gonna
doing.
say, I'm sure he's proud, right?
Because what I knew about him, that he didn't accept any bad to happen to people.
Okay.
What I knew about him, that he stood for his ethical things.
For his vows. So he was a noble person.
So
Mm.
he never accepted anyone to be treated badly.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, and he was with the real Lebanon, with the fact that he loves this country. My father was going to his siblings in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped in Paris, and he didn't accept to continue his way, on his way. He came back to Lebanon. He told a friend, I cannot live outside Lebanon.
He wanted to fight for what's right, or he just wanted to come back to his home country?
He wanted to fight. He wanted to stay. He came back, and he got killed after 2 years, I think.
You know, you're telling me about your father, and I'm seeing a lot of him in you, because you both fight for what's right, except you're not fighting with a gun, you're fighting with your words.
Actually, he did it for a little bit of time, but still, in my mind, that he held a gun once in his life. But
Okay.
whenever, after he got married and he got us,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't do anything, and this is why
Oh, he stopped.
he stopped.
He wasn't
of course.
fighting.
No, he wasn't fighting.
So this
He-
was kind of like an incident.
Yes, it's an incident. It wasn't related to his. Plus, whoever knew him used to say, if he had his gun, he wouldn't have been killed. But he left his gun long time
Oh.
before, and this is why he has been killed. And you are in a war.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I have a lot of, like, I'm digging about everything, single thing,
Mm-hmm.
and what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know my father as a human being
Mm-hmm.
who makes mistakes and who doesn't make mistakes.
Right.
But what is like really fascinating,
Mm-hmm.
when they killed Rafiq Hariri
Yes.
in 2005, it was 12 February.
14.
14.
Right.
Sorry, 14. It was
Right.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
So my father was killed in February 3rd
Oh, okay.
at the same area,
So, in the same area.
like Phoenicia's
Really?
surrounding.
So it
And-
hit you a little bit.
It hit me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was at that time a journalist,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still a journalist.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was in Al Hayat newspaper, and as if even we had been like during the war, in 1989, our house got hit, and me and my brother were injured. But with time, as if
you heal.
You healed, or your memory just like keep it.
It becomes
aside,
selective, right?
You know.
Yeah.
So after this explosion, the biggest explosion that happened
Until August 4th.
Until August 4th.
Yeah.
As if something woke up in my mind, in my entire life. And from there I started digging about what happened. I always knew the killer's name. I know where is he. I know who sent him. And unfortunately, he is someone related to people who are now big, very big in
power
or in this country. And from here, all my life got switched to another level of fighting.
So this is the time where you started to use your words more to fight, you mean?
This was the first time.
Is this the incident that like made it click?
This was the first time I write something about my father.
Oh, okay.
And this was the time when I decided that I will never stop talking about it. And after that, I won a prize in investigative journalism. And I took it as a sign to know what happened and to know more about this incident.
But it seems like you do know what happened now.
I do know what happened. Actually, we grew up knowing what happened. But unfortunately, we grew up and we're still in the middle of, did the big boss ordered it, the killing? Did he give the permission to kill or not? Especially that, they killed us on August 4th. All of us.
Yeah, we were all affected one way or another.
We still, like, for me, August 4th is one of, like, I won't say one of the worst days of my life. It is the worst trauma ever. I do feel part of me died in that day, and I will never be able to get it back. I wasn't injured. We lost as a company our offices and our stuff, but it's nothing compared to what people lost in that time. These people who lost a daughter or a son or a sister or whatever,
or an eye or a hand or a leg.
You know, it's till now, whenever we talk about August 4th, whoever is sitting, he has a certain story to tell. We always cry. This is the most horrific, terrible incident, explosion. This is a criminal act.
Yes, definitely.
Has been committed to us. And in here it becomes like there is a particular and private events that this government and these people who are in charge of this country committed like 30 years ago and 40 years ago.
That led to this.
And they are still doing it. They killed us like one by one before, and now they are killing us in masses.
In one shot. Do you feel that, ironically, and it would have been better with another event, but do you think that maybe this explosion brought the people together in a certain way?
I wish.
You don't think so? Because everybody went down on the streets, and from all communities, everybody went down to clean up and stuff.
Where are they now? Like, the families of the victims, they go.
Yeah, they want the justice.
Every single month, they go into the streets. How many we go with them to stand by them?
Well, we're living in such a difficult moment, this period, because of a failed state and everything. So I think everybody's mind just isn't able to focus.
You know, we are.
I'm not
all-
excusing.
I know, but
I'm just trying to understand
but
everybody's mindset.
unfortunately, with all what we're suffering from, and with them like giving us the alibi to be excused from such events, from such holding hands with these people who really wants the justice for their victims, and don't forget that if they got the justice for their victims, we get our justice.
Yes, definitely. It's justice for
people.
everybody, right?
But yes, the people who are controlling this country, they are just like too mean and too smart to let people go into other fights. Like, we fight for the bread, we fight for the electricity, we fight for every single thing which is super normal in any other country.
Right, which is a given in another country.
So we are drained.
Yeah.
And whenever we have a real cause to stand for, we are not there. Or we cannot like just stay in this bubble. We need sometimes a little bit of positivity.
Yeah, we do.
To keep on moving.
The idea of this podcast is to give a little bit of positivity to people.
Yes.
I want everybody to see how many wonderful people there is.
There is.
And there is so many. And that's why I was getting to the point of after the explosion. I mean, so many people came together to help others. Forget about the government.
Of course.
Forget about the government.
Of course. I saw it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
we all participated in it.
When this happened and I went down to my offices, to the CRISP offices,
Mm-hmm.
and I really stood knowing nothing
Right.
from where to start.
Yeah, you're
And-
lost. You're shocked at the
And then
right at
a
first.
bunch of young people, they
Volunteers?
are beautiful people.
Yeah, really.
Volunteers. They
Yeah.
came in and they said, "We are here to help you."
Oh, really? They just walked in like this?
Yes. Where do you
Wow.
want us to start?
Right.
And I've started crying.
Yeah, of course, because you finally feel like you can let go, I think, at that moment.
So, because I didn't know from where to start, same as every single thing. Like,
yeah.
you know, I was telling you about my father's thing, that sometimes I think, how can someone who wasn't in your life,
Mm-hmm.
not for a single like year,
Yeah.
affect and has influence on your whole life like that?
Mm-hmm.
I've took this, and I cannot take it out of what I'm doing.
Well, no, you're a part of him, or he's a part of you. I mean, he's your father, obviously.
But you know, what do you think about that? I didn't know him.
Mm-hmm.
I only have one photo for him.
Right.
So, but yes, he is there. The first time I heard his voice, I was 18.
Oh, you
I
have a
heard
recording?
I
of it?
have a recorder because my eldest uncle came from Canada visiting,
And he
and
had
he
a
gave me that tape.
Wow.
Do you remember these cassettes? They used to tape it and
right.
send it
Yeah,
overseas.
yeah.
So he had it. So I've heard it for the first time, and I've never heard it again.
Oh, you
I
just
still
heard
have
it once.
of course, but yeah. But
What happened how did you feel when you heard his voice? Because I feel like you feel like a vibration on your skin
I
or
think
something.
I cried a lot. I've
Yeah.
discovered that he, you are hearing a voice that you will never hear it again, and
Mhm.
it should have been like the voice of reason, or the voice of protection, or the
Mhm.
voice of
Or my sweetheart, or my
or-
baby, or my daughter.
He used to say, like they used to tell me a lot
Yeah.
of things, but he used to say, they all used to say that whenever I wake up, he said, "Okay, see, She has a beautiful smile.
Oh, really?
So
That's nice.
yeah.
So you know something that how you made him feel.
Yes.
So your smile made him happy.
But he went out to get me milk and he didn't come back.
Oh, that's how it.
Yes.
So if you face this person, would you feel relief? Would you feel grief? Or would you feel closure?
I don't know yet, but yes, he is on my agenda to interview.
Okay. Okay, so we'll see what happens. You'll let us know.
Yes, of course. Actually, this is gonna be, for me, it's kind of a duty towards my father, a duty towards myself, and I have the right to have certain answers. I have the right to have a closure. He is not in Lebanon. This is why it didn't happen
he's not
yet.
here. Okay.
No.
Okay.
This is why it didn't happen yet, but it's gonna happen, I think. This is one of things on my bucket list. You know, people have bucket lists to have fun, but I do have bucket lists to clear up whatever happened to me.
Well, you have the strength to do it.
I think so.
Yeah, it might be hard emotionally, but you'll be able to do it, and it'll give you closure at least in the end. Like you said, clarity and closure.
You know, we are the only country in the world that had civil war for like 15 years or more, and we didn't have any closure for this. They only they only shook hands.
Amnesty and no reconciliation.
They only shook hands and wore ties instead of their military uniforms, and they went, and one of them is the house, the speaker house, the other one is in Baabda, the third one is in Mukhtara, and it goes on, and the fourth in Ma'rab. So we are still under the same
cloud.
The same cloud.
So all this set your path to what you're doing now. And you used to tell me as a child, because this is a contradiction in you, because look at you're so sexy, you like to dress sexy, and you're beautiful, and you reflect it so well. So you have this, like I was telling you right now before we started, you have this Barbie side of you, and then you have this strong rebel side who's strong with her words. You're a warrior with your words. So you have this contrast in you. I find this very interesting, and you still live it.
Yes, I actually am both. I'm a
you
woman.
Are.
I'm happy. I love fashion.
Yeah.
I work.
And you work. Also, you write.
I wrote fashion for a long time.
Yeah.
I still love every single detail of fashion and of luxury.
Yeah.
And this doesn't at all. I don't see them a contradiction. I see that
it completes you.
It actually, this was one of the things that I always did it whenever I wrote a very good investigative report or whatever, and I used to be proud of what I'm doing. So I always know the day of publishing, I used to wear maybe the sexiest clothes.
Oh, at the beginning, that's what you used to do?
Yes, when I didn't know how to do this, but it becomes like that. Like,
well, because we have this impression, the media, you always have to look sexy and everything.
Actually, I used to be in Al-Hayat newspaper, and newspapers usually they don't. We are not known as much as people on TV.
Okay, right.
But at the same time, I loved, people. When they see someone who is very like tiré à quatre épingles, they always think that she has no brain.
That's true.
And it's not true.
But you proved them wrong.
Like I did, and I still, and I always do. And this is why I say it's maybe a kind of the rebel side of fighting in the society as well.
True.
I can do both.
In a misogynistic society. Yeah.
I can do both, and I'm good in both, and I'm super happy.
You're also respected for that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean...
at the beginning, the first day maybe or week in Al-Hayat newspaper, I still remember my boss, who was in charge of our department at that time.
Right.
he came and he said, Tima, please, I want something from you. And I said, okay, go ahead, please. He said, can you please go and change your clothes?
Oh, he did?
Because every single one you know, Al Hayat newspaper, I used to be the youngest when I went, but later on I became one of the others. But I used to be the youngest at that time, and he came asking me to go, maybe to change my clothes,
to tame it down a little bit.
Yeah, or maybe to shorten my nails.
Oh, also.
Yeah, because they are not convinced that someone has long nails can type on a keyboard.
Yeah, we were at the typewriter at the time.
Yeah,
I think.
no, we were. Yeah.
Oh, we were.
We started with the computers
right,
and with the
right.
website of Al Hayat.
Right, you're right.
It was like 2002.
She's not that old.
I'm not that old.
She's not that old.
But we started the website of Al Hayat, and but the other colleagues, they didn't have
the
laptops or anything. They had the typewriters.
Yeah, so my timeline is a little bit blurry. That's it. Okay.
But at that time, they didn't get convinced that someone who has that long nails who can type on a keyboard. Okay,
did you prove them wrong?
I've told him, listen to me.
What difference does it make to him anyways?
Because he wanted to cut it he wanted to cut it short. Like, he didn't want to hear all this, like, who are these people? Why? Because, you know, at that time, even there were like a little bit of confrontation between the
colleagues.
Paper and the website. They don't want to digitize their content.
Oh.
So, because it
was new.
Them.
It was new.
It threatened them in a way. So, and when he came and asked me that, I've told him, listen to me. If I walk out from this door, I'm not coming back.
Oh. Wow, you stood your ground. Good for you.
I'm not coming back.
Right.
And he said, Tima, come on, please. I've told him, okay, if you are asking me to touch my nails because someone didn't like them, I'm going out. I told him, okay, I can finish the day, and tomorrow I'm super glad I won't come. And I was in need of the money, and I was in need of the vacancy, because it was a super big, huge chance for me that I'm working in Al Hayat newspaper.
Was this your first big job?
Actually, it was my first.
Oh, okay.
And I've stayed there for 14 years.
Wow.
And I took it because of a pierce in my nail.
Oh, the story about your interview.
Yes. So I was visiting my teacher in Al Hayat newspaper, because I was next to the American embassy. We had that clashes with the police, and I got hit with a gas bomb.
She has scars here, but she's proud. She likes to show them.
Yeah, I like to show.
Oh, here too, right?
Yeah. So I got hurt in that there, and I was visiting my doctor, who used to teach me journalism, asking him if I did good in the exam, because I was for 2 months in the hospital, and then on medication.
Oh, so that you had to stay that long in the hospital?
Yes, because I had because my arm is super small, so my bone got pumped out, and I had 2 operations in my hand. So it was big. Okay. And I was visiting him with all my accessories, and my hair was pink, I think.
Pink?
Come
on,
with
pink?
some purple with some purple highlights.
Oh my god.
So,
and he took you seriously in the interview?
No, actually I wasn't there for work. I wasn't there. I was visiting my doctor in the university. Like I was his student, and I was asking him about the exams. Okay. And then another colleague came in, and he said, I was like, hi, and shaking hands with him, and he said, what is this? I told him a piercing. I said, come on, I want to show you to someone. And he took me to the department that I became in the department as employee, the society department, it was named at that time. And they asked me if I can write an article about myself.
Oh, just on yourself, on your
about
looks,
my accessories. Yeah,
Okay.
about my looks and how people interact with it.
I'm trying to picture you with the pink and purple hair now. I just can't do that. I can't see it because I see you.
I will try to get it. I have pictures with the red head.
Okay.
And the hair and the black hair and every single
black hair too.
Every single type of hair. I will try to find the pink and purple.
Did you ever go blonde?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Not super blonde, but because my hair is a little bit dark. No. But yes, I was blonder, much blonder than that.
Okay.
Yes, I did every single
I think
color.
You found the perfect tone right now.
Yes.
To be honest.
I've been like that since years now. After I got my Kaya.
Your daughter, yeah.
So after I got Kaya, I became more reasonable with my looks.
Yeah.
I started long, I kept my hair to become longer. The tone was okay, but sometimes I do feel like going back to
a little bit eccentric.
Yeah, but my hairdresser doesn't accept.
But I mean, your clothes are eccentric enough, so I think it's okay.
So
you can let it out this way.
Sometimes I call him, okay, I'm coming to cut my hair and make it red. He said, okay, I'm waiting for you. And when I go there and he starts asking, hairdresser for women, it's like a therapist.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk. What's wrong today?
Oh, what's wrong?
And then it ended up like, okay, I'm with the same tone.
God bless him for keeping your tone like this, because you look great like this.
Thank you.
So your boss or something called you in because of the piercing,
yes.
And he hired you based on your looks?
He hired me. No, I've wrote that first article as a freelance.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've wrote that first article as a freelance, and then I've wrote a second and a third. My third article was about, there is some beaches who are only for women. So I've wrote an article about this. And
what was the article about?
About how these beaches and the women, how much freedom the women got inside these doors.
Okay.
And what kind of things, plus how there is some young ladies who doesn't really want to be there, but their parents
only let them
let them go there. Right. So I've wrote something in between about the all this contradictions that women live in this society, and how do they try to find their places. So this article has been taken by the magazine of Al-Naqad magazine. It used to be
it's a Lebanese magazine.
It's a Lebanese magazine. Was from Dar al-Rayes. It was a very important magazine at that time, who chose some very extraordinary articles in the newspapers and take it to the edition at the end of the month.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
they chose your article.
So they chose my article from Al Hayat, and they published it back.
Oh.
And this had an impression in Al Hayat that there is something in there. And then they wanted the new people, new generation, for the website.
Oh, okay.
And
now I understand.
They said that they have a job vacancy. I've applied. I've did all the interviews at that time, and I've took the job. And when I took the job, in here I used to know these. My boss is for 2-3 months now, while I was writing as a freelance. So, but when I became an employee, and the whole newspaper started to see me, so they got these little things. And he became like, when he was asking me in a friendly way.
Right.
Tima, can you please change your, shorten your nails or something?
Okay.
And I said, okay, I will walk out and I will never come back.
But you stayed.
I stayed for 14 years.
Nice.
I love every single
And
one.
I'm sure you didn't hear anything about your nails after. No. It was just like an incident that passed.
It was like, you know, I still have, like, most of my friends are from Al Hayat newspaper. I learned what loyal means in this.
Loyalty, friendship, respect.
Respect.
Yeah.
I learned everything, actually.
Well,
and I love every single one of them. Even there is some of them, they don't really like me. They are old enough, but you know, they.
Well, I think because you're so solid throughout all this time, you are yourself. It's not like you go up and down. And I think people can only accept and respect you for that.
You know, it was as well. No one knew, even me. I didn't know that I can write that way.
You have an amazing talent for writing.
When I started to write, like, I've discovered something else in me. I didn't know that I can write. I used to pay my brother to write me the
essays at school.
The essays at school.
You used to pay him?
Yes. And I wrote that in the newspaper.
Oh, really?
It was my third article, actually.
Okay.
It was about the Arabic language. And I said, I've wrote something about it. And I said, okay, I used to pay my brother to do me my homeworks. And then you are reading for me and you are considering me a journalist. So
it
I
shows
was
the
always,
human part. Yeah.
I was always super honest. This is what
that's another reason why people accept and respect you.
But what I say, like today, if you ask me, what are you proud of? I will say I'm proud of two things. Like, I'm proud of a lot of things. But, like, two things that I have no but or if in it. It's my job as a journalist and as who used to write, and I still, and my daughter.
Your daughter, I was going to say, for sure.
So these are two things that, like, the highlights of my life.
You're there for her always.
Yes, and now and now she's 10 or 11. She's turning 11 in August, and she's saying that I'm too protective.
Really? If she's saying that about you, I can't imagine what the other kids would say about their mothers.
So, okay, Mom, that's a lot.
But I mean, I'm sure she feels comfortable about telling you anything, talking to you about everything. So that's the most important for me with your kids.
Actually, I make sure every single day to remind her that I'm there for her.
Yeah.
And I got this thing. I told her that, you know, Mom, lawyers tells their clients, you have to tell us the truth, and we tell you, and we lie, and we fix anything that need be fixed. So please, Mom, you have to know that I am your best lawyer, and I will ever be. So you come, tell me the truth about anything.
And you will protect her from everything.
And I will do whatever it takes to protect you. Because, you know, now we are living in a different world. Like,
everything is open to our kids now.
Everything is open.
Right.
Now I was talking about my colleagues in Al Hayat and how they saw us, these young faces who came to open the website. So now some of my reactions about TikTok, it reminds me of that time.
When you were young and you started.
So for me, like, TikTok is something I cannot accept.
Oh, you can't. But do you relate to it? Do you realize that it's a little bit like this new generation, how they react to the world?
I cannot stop her. I don't stop her.
Right.
All what I ask and I try is to put limits and to clarify what is wrong and what is right. Yeah. And most of there is something very, very important. You know, we women in this life, especially in the Arab world, we live in a society that draw lines for us.
Mm-hmm.
And some,
As a woman, you mean?
yes.
Okay.
And some of these lines doesn't affect
Doesn't
me
suit
and
us,
doesn't
right.
suit me,
Right.
neither my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm having these clashes, if you want,
Mm-hmm.
between my daughter and my mom, and I'm in the middle.
Oh.
Because what I want for my daughter, my mom sees it very, very
Extreme.
extra
Out of the norm.
out of the norms.
Right. Out
And
of her
it's,
norms,
yes.
actually. Yeah.
So I always tell my mom, and I'm so thankful for her because, you know,
You have a good relationship with your mom.
I do.
just so-
My mom, like, she lost her husband. She became a widow and at 24.
Wow.
She had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And she stayed, and she's still with us.
And she raised them well.
Yes.
Mhm.
And like till now, she is like, I always say, I wish I can be a half mother as my if I want to be compared to my mom,
Yeah.
because I would never be able to do whatever she does for us every single day.
Right.
Like so, but now she looks at Kaya and she has some things to say about her.
What a
And-
different generation. I mean,
And
so many
I
things
go
have
like,
changed.
Mom, come on. Like, you raised me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me do
Enjoy
my
your, be
job,
the
my-
grandmother.
Let me do my job with
Yeah.
my daughter.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, and she is right in some terms, but like, she doesn't understand
Mm-hmm.
where are we living now.
Yeah,
and
things
that
have changed so much, and they continue to change so quickly.
They are so exposed.
Yes.
They know so much.
Isn't that amazing?
They know so much.
I mean, when we think of ourselves at their age, we were like little idiots
Exactly.
compared to what they know now.
Like, she's 11,
Mm-hmm.
and we discuss Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah.
We discuss fashion. We discuss politics.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We discuss everything.
Yeah, they have access to everything right now.
I tell her everything.
Is she a good writer?
Actually, she hates Arabic language.
Okay.
She's not good at all with
Mhm.
it. She has very good grades, but she doesn't like it.
Mm.
But
in
I
English
can tell
and
you,
French?
yes, she writes. She doesn't show me what she writes, but she used to. And since she was so young, she was 3 or something. She used to tell me, "Mom, write for me," and she used to tell stories, and I write them, and she takes the papers and she draw.
Oh.
And this is one of things that now I don't know where is it, because, you know, with this social media word, and she's always on TikTok and YouTube and Netflix watching. I'm not seeing this part of her anymore, but
Oh,
I
the
think
creative part.
she's gonna come back at some time, because plus you don't have to forget that we have been through a lot. The pandemic,
Right, the pandemic.
explosion.
Yeah, they
What
got
a-
used to staying at home a little bit, right?
and they got attached to their devices. It was their
True.
only thing to do, like for more than 1 year. They didn't, you know, they didn't see people. They
Yeah.
didn't see. I do feel pity on this generation.
We weren't able to see each other's faces.
You
Not
know,
yeah.
we were raised during the war, but like, we used to, for example, go from Beirut to village, and we used to be outdoor all the time and playing with our
Yeah.
friends, running and playing.
That was the solace during the wars, when people would see each other, they would comfort each other.
But these young kids, they didn't have the chance for 2 years to touch each others,
Right.
to play, to run.
Even
to,
we're getting used to that, doing that
Yes.
right now, right?
And so I think it's okay. She's gonna get back to the normal.
Yeah, little by little.
I don't push her too much, so I try to explain for her.
Mm-hmm.
She does aerial yoga. Now she's saying she doesn't want to
Oh,
anymore.
she doesn't? She's good at it, though.
But
Yeah.
I know why, because her friends are not going anymore,
Oh,
so she
right.
doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
So, you know,
They're a little bit unstable at this time, at this
there
age,
is
confused.
like whatever the friends do, we
Yeah,
want to do.
the
if
peer
they don't
pressure, right?
But you have to always be aware of what's happening, to look, to understand what does she wants. I do like to give her privacy, of course, but as a mother with this thing, you have to be anxious. So I'm still learning as well. She's my only child.
This is what we do every day. We learn every day.
And I'm learning, like, I've learned how to cope with her when she was newborn, blah, blah, blah. And every single year, it's new for me.
Yeah.
So I'm learning how to go
new
with
stages.
The flow with this.
Yeah, exactly. When you write, I'm going back to your writing right now. You're very witty. It's not just your writing style. It's your witty, your ideas, your creativity, and the way you communicate the message, especially through your episode of Helenas Sector every week. How long does it take you to write the article? Do the ideas just flow? Like,
actually, you know, being a journalist is a full-time job. It's not like you stop to be a journalist for half an hour in your day.
Because you're aware of everything that's going on.
Everything.
Right.
And you are following everything, and you are seeing everything from the news, the social media, and the pattern of your daily life, especially that you are living most of it, like, and you are suffering from most of it. Actually, sometimes it's easier than other times to write. Sometimes it's super hard to.
Okay.
And I think it's related to your mood, to your frustration, and to your. Sometimes, if I'm a little bit relaxed, it's harder to write. But
you don't have that drive.
Yes.
Right.
But when you are in the middle of it, it becomes more honest. You know.
More
sometimes,
honest.
Sometimes I write part of Helenas Sector before the others. It's not always, like very, very few times. But let's say something happens and it's really, it's worth to be commented on. So I say, since I'm feeling so, I want to write it now. For example, the episode of this week, and that I'm gonna shoot it later on today. I've wrote it on Monday.
Oh, okay. Something inspired you that day. Some event inspired you that day.
Actually, the Karish thing between us and Israel, and seeing what's going on. So it goes in on your mind, like, okay, I have something to say. And honestly, I don't like this trend of social media anymore. Like, when something is trending, we all talk about it. The second day, we just flip the page and continue
and we forget
our life.
about it. Yeah.
This is why a lot of people asked me, you should do Helenas Sector more often, or whenever there is something important to go.
Yeah.
But very few times I go for special episodes. Unfortunately, usually it's devastating incidents, like the explosion or stuff. But I don't want to, because I don't want to be a part of the trend, only the trend.
Yeah.
I want that Helenas Sector to be kind of documentation of what we are living. It's a roundup, a weekly roundup on whatever trended and finished.
Yeah, I prefer that too, the way you're thinking about it.
So this is why I always say it's a commentary about what happened in a week. Okay, let's stick on this.
Because you can go back to it and refer to it for what happened, like historically.
Yes.
I think it would be more trustworthy than...
Now, if we go back to the episodes, you can see that it is something that...
And they're all linked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like every single week what happened in this country since August 2019, I think.
Yeah. That's what you
Oh my
told me, I
God.
think. Yeah. Almost, what? Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. Oh,
Cheers to the
Cheers.
3 years. Wow.
wow.
Tima, thank you. Thank you for all your thoughts and for sharing with us everything. And I hope we'll be able to get some more news from you later.
Yes, sure.
It's wonderful.
It's always wonderful to see you, Patricia.
It is wonderful to see you as well.
We talk a lot when
We
meet.
talk a lot. But it's fun. It's
Yes,
fun. We
always
travel in all kinds of emotions.
Yes.
Can we do something before we stop?
You want the Helenas Sector part?
Yeah, I want the
Okay.
Helenas Sector. So, yeah.
Okay.
So what? 1,
You-
2, 3. How do we do this?
Actually, it has to be like. Let me think for a second. I'm trying to find my words in English. Just a second.
Oh, you want us to say it in English?
No, I want to say something.
Okay.
إن شاء الله أموت. when I said to you for the camera, okay?
We'll do it to the camera. Yeah.
Okay. إن شاء الله أموت if I don't enjoy every single second with Patricia since I met her.
You're wonderful.
من هلا until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
خليني
Sector. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.